What is going on, everybody? Brayden from 4x4 Camping and Adventures, and this is my 2020 Y62 Patrol. So at the front here we've got the Rhino bull bar. This is for the 2020 series, or the Series 5 Y62 Patrols. I suppose the reason I went with this bar, it actually follows the lines and looks quite neat on the Y62. Underneath there's the Rhino bash plate going across the radiator, and then going under the oil sump there is a rival bash plate there. 12,500 pound winch at the front, which is a Rhino branded as well, and then a 5-inch Paramount snorkel, which is a local bloke in Perth, and it's colour coded as well, which makes it a little bit different from the norm. All right, so side of the car, I suppose the big thing that sticks out is the, I suppose the biggest thing that stands out is the bush barrier, full custom design. This is just pretty much to protect the paint, because it is a brand new car and I wanted to sort of protect all the sides when you go down those tracks. Each rim is an 18-inch rim. They're from ROH. It's one of the Invaders, they call it, and it's a 35-inch tyre that's wrapped around them, which is a Maxxis all-terrain hybrid, or whatever they call it. But it's a pretty good tyre, pretty happy with it so far. Side steps or sliders, or whatever you want to call them, heavy duty. They actually are proper sliders, so I've had this thing leaning on these and all the rest of it. They handle it pretty well. I think it's on this one, or it might be on the other side. It's got some big gouges in there, so they do handle it pretty well. I'm pretty happy with them. Suspension wise, these cars have a hydraulic suspension. So there's two ways of lifting these. The first way is the lower control arm. You lift it by 50 millimeters and it pushes the actual original shock up by 50 millimeters. The other way is depressurizing the whole system, then adding a new extended shock, or a new spring, and then obviously putting it all back together, repressurizing the whole system. This way is a little bit easier and a little bit cheaper. You do still get the full 50 mil and still keep the factory ride, which is nice because you're using standard suspension at the front. And at the back, it's a 400 kilo ARB spring actually, and then the back. Beyond that, we also have Bendix upgraded rotors. So the rotors are slotted and drilled. So pulls up a little bit better brake pads, all that kind of thing. But it's had the whole ultimate upgrade from Bendix as well. So rear drawer setup, as you can see, full length table. Underneath here we've got some cutlery, frying pan, all the stuff you use when you're cooking, that kind of stuff, fire, matches. Easy access all on this table, which is perfect, handy, doesn't need a leg or anything like that to hold itself up, which is perfect. The drawer setup is actually designed by me. So me and John from Black Label Storage went through a few ideas and we sort of come to this one. Originally, this space here was going to be used for a coffee machine, but as one of my stickers says, you don't have coffee machines out in the bush. We actually decided on an idea of a pantry. So this is a full length 1.3 meter pantry. It holds all my spices, my cups, my flour, food, chips, all that kind of stuff. So these two drawers are essentially just storage, nothing fancy. A Bushman 85 litre fridge. I've had this in here for about 1.5 years now, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Really, really compact space, because I can also put a 40 litre fridge behind that. So that's my onboard water. So at all times I've got 40 litres of water in here, rather than having 2 jerry cans on the roof or something like that. Then that goes into a water pump, and then the outlet's just down here, so you can use it on a normal hose. 10 metre reel on the air pump. And then that's all controlled via this control panel here. So you've got your roof lights, rear lights, which is this guy here, which is this little light force light. Inverter is the travel buddy, but we'll get to that when we get to the back of the car. Air compressor, GPS, and water pump. It's pretty much designed to be a overnight car, or we can go on a 7-day trip car. So I've cooked out the back of here. We did some really wicked burgers on here last night. It's so easy to live out of. And the best thing about it is when I go on camping, I don't have to really worry about anything. Everything's in the car. Put some food in the fridge, put my swag in, and I'm good to go. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's an awesome setup. Really happy. You still got some space up here for when you go shopping and all that kind of thing, but I don't think you can do much better. It's really nice to live out of. So welcome to the 1980s of wood grain. First off, let's talk about the XRS, which is a GME unit, connects to a 6 dB antenna on the roof. Moving across, Red Arc Tow Pro Elite, just for when I put the camper trailer on. High kit throttle controller, so this just allows you to have a little bit of a sharper throttle and that kind of thing. You can turn it off if you just want to have a normal throttle and that kind of thing. Also, it's got a 4x4 economy mode, which really dulls it down if you're going to go over rocks and that kind of stuff. So it's a little handy unit. I just normally leave it on cruise. What's a little bit different about this Y62, it actually has a full replacement dash in it. So the cluster comes from EC Off-Road and it replaces the 2 analog dials you get from factory. It does have a couple of cool modes which you can go through. Your tyre pressure's on there, it does your voltage, but it's a very, very neat, very, very clear and sharp, and it just sort of brings it back to that 2020 rather than the 1980s wood grain. And up here we've got a replacement mirror camera, so that always sits on the top and that is always on. So because I've got the solar screens on the back of the car, I can't see at the back. So that is essentially my rear view camera, which is always on, and it's really good for towing as well. So you can see the trailer at all times because it looks down on the trailer. And beyond that, that's pretty much it in here, guys. It's a very simple setup. I've got some Razorback seat covers, and that's about it. So at the back here, cargo barrier, custom made with my logo, which I'm really, really happy with. And inside of that, we've got 2 openings. On that side, it gives the opening to the 40 litre water tank, so I can actually fill it in through there. And then on this side, I have a travel buddy, which is a onboard oven. Really handy bit of kit to have if you're doing, I did like a roast pork, I pulled pork on the one of my trips, and I actually set this up to run on 6 hours for the trip. When I actually got to camp, I had a full-blown pulled pork burger, which was awesome to have. So really recommend it if you're doing a fair few travels and that kind of stuff. All right, so roof rack, this is the Tramax unit. The reason I went with this is it's low profile, looks really neat on the car, and I just think it looks a little bit different to all the other roof rack out there. So really good unit, full metal construction. You can put 150 kilos on these cars, so you can fairly load them up. I've got the 4 treads up there, Tread Pros, the GME radio on the right hand side there. It's on a GME adjustable arm, so you can put it up and down for you whenever you need to. And there's also a 6 dB Telstra booster area on the other side, so they sort of come out in a bit of a scissor action. 180 watt Red Arc solar panel, shovel, shower awning on this side, which is a Kick-Ass branded one, and then the 30-second awning on that side, which is a full 270. Very, very good little awning. I'm very happy with that. I've also put it on there with Bush, I think they're called Bush Company brackets, because the original brackets that come with these awnings are a little bit weak and they're quite thin. So I went with these Bush Company brackets, which are holding it on absolutely perfectly.
So mate, thanks so much for coming out today. Really appreciate it, and showing us around your wicked patrol.
Thanks, mate.
A little bit different than I was expecting for a patrol, but actually looks kind of nice.
Quite a lot from a 200 owner, mate.
We shared our caviar and everything.
Absolutely.
What's the future hold for this car? What are your next mods you're going to be doing to it?
I do want to get a set of play tyres. That's probably one of my sort of bigger things I want to do, is just get like maybe a set of 37-inch treps when they do them at 18-inch rims. I suppose the other big thing, I do want to supercharge it sometime down the track.
Yep.
Yeah, put a supercharger on it.
Yeah, keep up with the 200.
Yeah,
enough,
you know, you got those 2 turbos. I at least need one supercharger, you know. So,
there,
one supercharger.
All right. And do you have any advice for anyone who's hoping to set up their four-wheel drive similar to yours?
Yeah, have a real good accountant, because they're very expensive to build. But I suppose the big thing is set it up with weight in mind, because like any wagon, you're really struck with a GVM. You can get a 4,400 kilo GVM upgrade on these, so you can do it, but just be conscious of weight is probably the big thing.
Yep.
Put bigger tyres on it. The factory ones are pretty how you going. You can put the 35s on factory.
Yep.
So they can take the big tyres, so that's probably a big thing. Put bigger tyres on it so you can at least go, you know, out and about and not stress too much about the tyres. Yeah, as I said, just be really conscious with what you put in there. You're, you know, space-wise, you're really, really restricted with the wagon. So
yep,
yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
No, good advice, good advice. Well, look, guys, thank you very much for watching this next episode of Flash Forbys. We'll catch you next time on Off-Road Crusader. Cheers.
See you later.